this is Moo.
And this is Fuji.
And we just watched The Great Mouse Detective, also known as Mouse Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Mouse
Sherlock?
Holmes.
Mouse Holmes.
Mouse.
Home Mouse? Mouse Lock. Sounds like a horrible ship name.
Don't think about that.
Let's not bring that into it. Anyway, I like this movie.
I like it too. This was one of the ones that, we started watching it, and we've both seen it, a few times.
Mm-hmm. My siblings and I loved it. We watched it a lot on our VHS tapes, because I'm old. Anyway.
I mean, we're not rewinding a VHS tape right now to watch some of these. We are old.
Oh my god. Technology just changed really, really fast, that's all. Alright. Well, anyway, I like this movie. It's good. And this is the start. This is the first movie. Well, it's not the movie. It's the first movie I think made under Eisner.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. I know Black Cauldron was released under him, but I don't think it was made under him.
Black Cauldron.
Yeah. Because it was definitely released under him.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what I'm thinking.
This is one of those weird ones where we're at the tail end right before the Renaissance starts.
We're almost there. Ooh.
Some weird stuff going on.
They're more experimental at this point.
They are, actually.
So,
was
like,
that,
work?
I wasn't sure if that was, actually CGI or if that was just really fluid animation.
No, it was fluid animation. We didn't have CGI.
Okay, yeah. Or was the first CGI in Beauty and the Beast then?
I think it was.
In the ballroom scene?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. The
okay.
CGI hasn't really come into its own just yet. I mean,
right.
It's used in live action movies, of course, but I don't think it's really coming to its own in animation just yet. And this is around the time...
Because this would have been 80
something.
85?
85? That sounds about right.
86.
86.
1986.
Okay, and that means Katzenberg is still at the studios. And this is also one of the first movies by Ron Clements and why am I forgetting his first name? Musker
and Clements.
Musker and Clements. It's the first one under Musker and Clements, right? I'm pretty sure it's the first one by them.
I don't think it's the first one that they'd worked on, but I think it's the first one that they directed.
Okay, yeah. Which is a pretty good first one, I have to say.
Pretty good.
Nice start, guys. And this this did pretty well in theaters. It actually got 2 releases. It got an original release and then a reissue. And it did better than Black Cauldron.
It's a better movie than Black Cauldron.
Oh, fuck yeah, it's a better movie than Black Cauldron.
I feel like it's not as good as, Oliver and Company. I think Oliver and Company's better.
Well, you're a little bit biased, dude.
A little bit. And then it's definitely not as good as, Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast and
right.
Forward,
well,
all
I mean,
of those.
It's a good start of going out of the Dark Ages.
Yeah, it is, definitely.
Yeah, I could see why this is, the start of us getting, right out of that, Disney getting out of its rut. And Eisner really, tightening the control with it. And Katzenberg being Katzenberg. That's an interesting guy.
From a technical standpoint, the past bunch of movies, I've had nothing to complain about.
Yeah, same. I mean, we've got, well, you know what? We got out of the package films, and after that...
The package films were a long time ago by now. It's 30 years later.
Oh my god, I know, but, we got out of that, and afterwards everything else seemed much better in comparison if you really think about it. Plus, we haven't reached the Disney movies that got really, not great, to put it lightly.
So, in your opinion, which are the worst? Which are the worst movies? The Dark Ages, or the Dork Ages?
Dark Ages, definitely Dark Ages, because the Dark Ages have problems. Is that they're a little bit boring, but it's still there's a lot to look at. I can see why a lot of people like those movies, and they're still pretty well liked, even if they aren't that great. Like Black Cauldron, for example, there's a lot of people who think it's an underrated classic, really like it a lot, and same with other ones. But the Dark Age movies,
Dork with an O.
Dork with an O is well, I'm trying to think of a good way to put this, because
she hates Chicken Little.
Well, I really hate Chicken Little. I'll get to that when I get there, but things like Chicken Little and Dinosaur are the ones that come to mind. The CGI is really not that great at all. Even for its time, it's not that great, because they're trying so hard to be Pixar, because they're trying, we can do what we want without Pixar. We don't need him.
Better ex-boyfriends.
Oh god, well that actually that's great. Mouse Detective. Ooh, it's foreshadowing. Anyway, and the thing is with the Dark Ages, I don't think every movie in the Dark Ages was awful or anything. Like I think like Lilo and Stitch came out during the Dark Ages, and so did Emperor's New Groove and Treasure Planet, which I like. I think I like that movie and all that other stuff. But like, I think the big thing with uh the Dark Age movies is that their narratives are just really terrible on like different levels instead of just being boring.
And
I
see,
think is the way to put it.
actually, that's something that I want to talk more about when we get to Little Mermaid.
Mm-hmm.
Because okay, so right now we are in the Dark Ages,
Mm-hmm.
and something that I've noticed is that all of these are like stories based on stories.
A lot of animals.
Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
I mean, like Great Mouse Detective, it's based on a book. Black Cauldron, it's based on a book. Fox and the Hound is also a book.
Oliver Company's best of all play.
And I mean, they're all stories that are based on stories.
Mm-hmm.
When we start getting into Little Mermaid, we start getting movies that are stories about things. You know?
Yeah, but they're still based off of stuff.
They're still based off of stuff, but we start, especially, and I'm thinking about this because we just went to go see live action Beauty and the Beast, but like Beauty and the Beast was a story based on a story, but especially with Howard Ashman producing, it became a story about other things.
Yeah, we're not gonna start thinking. It's like, does metaphors make any sense there? Like,
I mean, to put it bluntly, like Beauty and the Beast is about AIDS.
It is.
And I mean, if we start to get into movies that are about things.
Right, yeah. What do you think Little Mermaid's about then?
I mean, if you're like gonna think about it, which is why I want to watch it again before I say anything, but my initial thought is that you can't really get around Little Mermaid being a story written by a gay man whose love was turned down.
Yeah, it does take the inspiration from where the story came from originally, because Hans Christian Andersen was sad because his dude love like turned him down, really hardcore. He's like, I'm gonna write a sad story about a mermaid.
And I mean, I think that if you're doing all of the research that goes into,
they're gonna know that
prepping for a movie, yeah, I'm sure that they knew that.
I mean, we'll talk more about Hans Christian Andersen when we get to Little Mermaid, because he was a very interesting dude, that's for sure.
And I mean, in a way, also, Little Mermaid like deals with, prejudice and tensions between different groups of people.
Yeah, you think so?
I think so.
Oh, I haven't seen it in a while, so I don't know. Maybe I'll have clearer thoughts about it when I see it again.
I've probably seen it more recently than you because cousins, but
well, I mean,
that's why
cousins, it's not their favorite
let's save that conversation for when we actually watch Little Mermaid.
Right.
I do want to watch it again before I kind of espouse my thoughts on it, because this might just be reading too many internet articles.
True, and the internet.
But I mean, later on we get to Pocahontas is clearly about racial tensions.
Oh my God, Pocahontas! That's we could talk like hours on Pocahontas alone. But anyway, we should probably talk a little bit more about Great Mouse Detective before we get to the other movies.
So that's what I mean, is that Great Mouse Detective, it's a good movie. It's a solid movie, but it's a movie that's about its own story and isn't really concerned with anything outside of that sphere. And I feel like maybe that's, before the Dark Ages happened, that's what people felt like they were missing from the movies that were made during the Disney Dark Ages.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Because they were all, just stories basically about stories.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Postmodernism.
Also, the Great Mouse Detective, we know what the real story is about.
Or no, modernism. That would be modernism.
It's about Basil and Radigan's really bitter ex-boyfriends, because they were totally dating at one point, and now they're really, really fucking salty at each other.
Okay, you have to...
Holy shit.
You have to acknowledge that we totally stole that line from Lindsay Ellis, so...
We did steal it from Lindsay Ellis. Thank you, Lindsay Ellis. I highly doubt she's listening, but that's where we got... whenever she mentioned that, I went, oh my God, you're right. And I'm watching this movie like, oh my God, she's right. They're definitely bitter ex-boyfriends. It's just...
Which is kind of a shame that it's like, this is the only story that you get, because it's like there's so much more that could be explored with these characters. And it's like every iteration of Sherlock Holmes has something interesting to say.
It sure does.
And this one, I feel like there was, more that could have been done. But in Dark Ages animation,
we only had a limited amount of time anyway, so...
Yeah, time and money.
I really liked Vincent Price's Ratigan.
Yes.
Because I like Vincent Price a lot, and his voice is just great, and I'm pretty sure the animators took inspiration from his expressions.
That character was so good, though.
Oh, God, yeah. I just like this guy, this guy who's like, oh, I'm a mouse, and I'm not aggressive and angry or anything. He, like, tries really hard to keep his, like, anger. You can see he's always on the verge of just, like, fucking losing it. And then at the end, he does, like, rips off his suit and just fucking goes absolutely feral. Is, like, running at Basil. I'm such sure, like, Basil on all fours and everything. I think that's really interesting to see this, like, character do that. Also, he's so evil that he says portrait smiles when you mention him. Saw it happen. The portrait on Basil's fireplace mantle.
Why does Basil have a framed portrait of Ratigan on his mantle?
It's surrounded by Ratigan stuff. Like, there was an article and, like, shit from him. And then on Ratigan's mantle, there's, like, a voodoo doll of Basil on his mantle with all the pins. And I'm like, I don't think that breakup is a little bit bitter.
Anyway, next up is, I'm extremely biased, it is Oliver and Company.
I haven't seen Oliver and Company since...
I've seen Oliver and Company like 40 times.
I saw it on VHS when my brother was born.
Are you ready for...
98? No, 96.
You ready for Billy Joel to be a singing dog?
I'm so excited to see Billy Joel
This
be a
movie
singing dog.
is extraordinarily 80s.
It is. I'm really excited because I'm interested to see how it would age for me. And plus, now when I was a kid, I didn't realize it was an Oliver twist. No, not yet. Not yet. Wait. We gotta wait. Okay.
Okay.
We will see you guys when we watch Oliver and Company.